So the other day I was out here at the river, I was in the middle of filming a video, and every tree that I fished around, I found a lure in. And when I say every tree that I fished around, it was like one every 10 or 15 trees would have a lure in it. So while filming that video, I started cutting these lures out of the trees, and when I had about 3 of them, I thought, dang, this is a video in and of itself. So I am going to show you what lures I cut out of the tree. And then for today's video, we're gonna get back out here on the water, and we're gonna go around looking for other lures, and we're gonna fish only with what we find hanging in the trees. Here, let me show you what we found. I just found a crankbait, and it's gonna be eye level with mine. Let's go see what we have found in the tree. What have we found? I've got some kind of square bill. Oh no. How about that? That is an awesome find. So that crankbait right there that we just found is the exact same crankbait that I've got tied on right here. I've just got a yellow one, and we just found a nice sexy shad pattern. And I know, but I promise you, that's what it's called, sexy shad. You gotta admit. Yeah, so first lure, a Frittside Berkeley 7, AKA Berkeley Frittside 7. I don't know why I said that backwards, but found an $11 bait. I think that's a steal for somebody who's always looking for a bargain. Come on now. $11 hanging in the tree. I'll grab my ladder. Pretty cool. I definitely think I can catch a fish on it. I also found this doohickey jiggy bob. I don't know how well you can see it, but how about that? Okay, so the hook's on this thing. Look at that. Look how long this has been in the tree. This tree started to grow around the hooks. That's crazy. I don't think I'm getting that out. Look at that hook in there. All I know to do is break it. Okay, I'll worry about getting that out of our tree branch later. It is in there so good. Just not getting it out. I'm gonna have to probably take the hooks off and then replace the treble hooks. No big deal. But heck, an old school Rapala straight out of your granddad's tackle box, I'll be the first one to tell you, old school baits still catch fish. It's just the person throwing them is normally sitting down in the front of the boat. Sorry, little granddad joke. And for what it's worth, I know a lot of granddads that fish that don't sit down. They stand for an hour or two and then they gotta go home. I also found a spinnerbait that has seen way better days. Hey, gum, Chris, I done found another lure. This one does not look to be in as good a shape. All right, so far I've found a Frittside 5 crankbait. I have found a spinnerbait. Now, granted, the spinnerbait is kind of trash, but I do own some skirt material now. I can always fix that thing up. I got a feeling our rubber band's gonna break if I push it back up on there. So far, so good. Okay, I'll throw that around a little while. I also found this and a handful of line that I got off the tree. All right, I see a frog. We just pulled out a tree frog. Now this thing is in pretty bad shape. I've got a jig head right there. That could prove to be good for catching a crappie or something. I don't know. I just don't think that frog is gonna help us unless we took the hooks out and tried to catch a giant catfish or something. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know if somebody had a frog and then they also tied a jig head onto the front of it to throw 2 lures at once. I don't know. I just don't think that's the way to get 2 birds stoned at once. That is a frog that is toast. I doubt that I'm gonna be able to use that for anything. I also thought this was weird. I don't know if it's just by chance that there's a line attached to this with a jig hook. I don't know what they were doing. We are sitting right behind the liquor store. Somebody may have moving along. The hardest part of this is gonna be getting these out. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on that. Oh, dude, okay. I'm getting one out. Oh, poke myself with the other. Aha! So we've got one out. It was definitely easier than I thought it was gonna be. Out, Charlie. Okay, got them both out. That was a whole lot easier than I thought. So you can tell our hooks are really old. I'm gonna go ahead and change them right now. I know what you're thinking, those hooks are too big. You're right, but hey, plan for the worst, hope for the best. All right, well, we just got the boat put in. I'm still sitting right here at the ramp, and I feel like the ramp is gonna be a really good place to find some lures, just because everybody fishes right here. There's literally people pulling in and out of the ramp, fishing from the riverbank all day long. This little line of trees right here behind me, I'm gonna go under these trees, looking up, trying to find more lures. The only thing that I'm really not liking is I don't have a soft plastic. I wanna find some kind of worm or crawfish. I just don't really like, I don't know why I don't like it. I've got 3 lures and I feel like I need a soft plastic. Maybe that's just a mental block that I have. Who knows? Let's find some lures. I feel like that tree right there should have so many, but the sun is just killing my eyes right now. I could just see all these trees right here having something since they're so close to the ramp. So the problem is the other day we were out here and the river was up and now the river's down. So I'm either gonna have to get my shoes muddy or something. Either way, it's not gonna be as pretty as it was. I'm not as high up in the water column. I can't grab the lures from the trees like I was able to. Oh, I'm about to hit a giant log. I know people that would stick their hand in the hole of that log and see if they could pull out a catfish. I'm just not one of those people, but I would like to do that in a video. I just think that that could be some really good content. Going noodling for the first time, and I know you guys would love to see it. See me get out there and actually be scared. I'm looking with no signs of anything. I mean, there got to be some lures in these trees. Ain't no way everybody's out here making great casts. It's just hurting my soul to not be making at least a few casts. Still got my eyes peeled. I'm looking up in the trees, but I've got to still fish. I mean, I can't just be out here on the water not making a cast. I don't really ever throw these old school baits, but I definitely like the way that one swims. I got a fish. I got a fish on. Oh my goodness, it's a nice one, dude. It's a really nice one. Please stay hooked up. I just put new hooks on this. I just felt one of them come out. I'm doing it. Let's go, man. On a lure I found, not $1 spent on this 3.5 pounder. I felt like there was gonna be something on that rock pile. How about that though? The old school Rapala, or Rapala as I like to call it the wrong way, produces a nice 3-pound largemouth. Maybe not quite 3, let's just see. She's gonna be close to 3. I'm gonna say, my guess, 2 pounds, 15 ounces. All right, scale is zeroed. 2 pounds, 14 ounces. I was almost all over it. Not a bad fish at all. That's awesome. So this right here is kind of weird. Her bottom jaw comes to a really sharp point. I've never seen one like that. I don't know if her jaw got broke and just came back over time or what, but it comes to a really sharp point right there. Crazy. Well, that felt really good. Catch one on a free bait while still looking for lures. I mean, we hadn't even found everything we're gonna find for the video. So that fish was tucked up against some rocks. Definitely good to know. The good news is there's rocks all out in front of me right here. I also don't know how many lures I'm gonna find right here with no trees, so I'm probably just kind of killing time. I at least want to fish this old abandoned boat ramp. This boat ramp right here in front of me, it's not in use anymore, but this is actually the first boat ramp that I put a canoe in the river while driving my first truck ever. It was a 1987 Toyota. This thing was a manual, so you can imagine how scared I was having to park right there and then drive it back up the ramp without having her stall out on me. Luckily, I did pretty good. I think I burned a clutch up, but you just don't want to find your truck in the river. Oh gosh! I stopped my bait and then I had one come up and eat it. That was wild. I felt it bite whenever I stopped my bait, but whenever I set the hook, I had too much slack in there, I believe. I stopped it and I saw my line jump. Well, that is a good sign on the old school Rapala. That definitely, I don't know, man, that gets me thinking about these old school baits. That kind of makes me want to slow roll our spinnerbait. Now, I do think that our spinnerbait might be about to fall apart. I don't think I've got many casts with it. I picked up the spinnerbait just so I could get it a little bit deeper. Those crankbaits are only going to go as deep as they're going to go. But a spinnerbait, you can let it sink down to the bottom and then kind of slow roll it. Since we just had a bite right here, I want to be sure I fish it out before we go searching the trees. That cast right there is about where that one was. Kind of shallow up there. I just hit bottom right. Okay, it's deeper than I thought. Just hit bottom there, so gonna kind of slow roll it and hope that we can entice another bite. This isn't a bad looking spinnerbait, dude. Found it in the trees. It's got a little bit of rust on it, but I think the hook is still in good enough shape to catch a fish. It does look like an Ozark Trail Walmart spinnerbait, and I'm not trying to knock them. I've caught fish on them. It's just not my first bait of choice. I see some fishing string. Are you seeing any kind of hook or anything? It's not. There's no hook. Dang. Well, we can at least get it out of the tree. Who knows? Maybe we just saved a bird's life. Yeah, no hook on that. So we struck out. The search continues. We'll take that out of the river too. Somebody left their underwear. Fish! We have a fish! What do we have? It's probably a spot. Yeah, it looks like a big spotted bass. Looks like a spot head. Chunky though, man. These spots are so thick this time of year. She got that hook pretty good too. So that one I caught by basically reeling it and then stopping it, which is no secret. I mean, that's how fish bite. Constant reel, stop it, reel, stop, bite, set the hook, and you catch one like that. Look at that tummy. Fish number 2, the old school rapala, is getting it done. I'm tired of calling it the old school rapala. I'm about to put this fish back and we're gonna see exactly what kind of bait I'm throwing. Let's see what we're throwing. Dude, okay, I'm not throwing a Rapala. I'm sure a ton of you guys knew what I was throwing to begin with. That is a Bagley's. It is not a Rapala. It just reminded me of a Rapala. And that would mean that I have a vintage Bagley Bossa small fry shad. Never been called a small fry, but there's a first for everything. So I just came across a piece of wood on the bottom and I think that there's a bait on it. It's gonna be kind of hard to get though. We have another spinnerbait. Oh, that water's so cold. Ah, well, this one is toast. I don't know how well you can see that hook, but it's gone. But still getting trash out of the river, so that's a good thing. So I just found another spinnerbait, but it's in the water, and I think that's gonna be the problem with finding baits that are in the water. I think they're already gonna be rusted up, and the hooks are gonna be toast, unless somebody lost it like last week or something. At this point, I've kind of gotten off track. I've been doing some fishing. I need to start getting back to looking for baits. Aha! I see a crankbait, dude. All right, this one actually looks to be a really nice one. It looks like a bomber. I'll go back and get all that line, but that is a nice bomber crankbait. A little bit of a deeper diver, and the hooks look to be in really good shape. Awesome find. I'm gonna grab all this extra line. Okay, well, cleaning up the river. Oh, I see a fishing line. So this one looks like, I don't see a hook or anything, but it looks like somebody just broke their line and left it in the water. All right, well, we got that line off. It's definitely been there for a while. It was very brittle, but I don't see anything else. I just feel like this spot right here is gonna have something. So right here is a giant tree in front of me, obviously, but it's really close to casting distance for anybody that would be on the riverbank right there. I'm just not seeing anything. So I see a line right here. Oh, I see the bait. Let me get the line, but I see the bait. Got all that line out, and the bait, I just got to make sure. It looks like a chatterbait. Dude, that is a sweet find. Completely intact. Nice little chatterbait. Hook's still in good shape, still even got a swim bait on it. So that is another good find. This is a great spot. All right, so we have something in our sights. It's just so deep. I got it. I got it. Let's go. Nice little, that's not nice. The hook's kind of shoddy. But we have found another swim bait. So this little section right here is an awesome spot. Basically, it comes down to find where people fish from the bank, but not the boat, and then you'll find all the lures that they can't go get without swimming. All right, this is gonna be our last little pass right here. Keeping the eyes peeled. We're gonna go up about 10 or 15 yards above this little spot to see if we haven't missed anything. I wanted to check this log too. This is what we just found that chatterbait on. Perfect log for somebody to get hung up on. Not that I want that to happen, just so I can come get their lures. I'm not saying that at all. My heart really does go out to people who lose lures. I know how bad that feels. It's one of the worst feelings in the world. Dude, this is a pretty good looking little fishing spot. Make a few casts. I've actually never fished this little section of river. I see some fishing line. I don't see a bait though. There was just a little bit of line in this. I don't feel it. I guess that was just line. Well, heck, that was cool. We just found 3 different lures, and I feel like that right there is probably the nicest, cleanest one we found. But heck, this was cool too. Little chatterbait, probably a $7, $8 chatterbait. The cool thing about those crankbaits though, I can change the hooks out, give them a nice little polish with my wife's toothbrush, and then they'll be good to go. But the chatterbait and everything else has just got a single hook that's rusted off. Pretty much toast. Nothing we can do about that. So yeah, a couple cool finds. The search continues. I'm gonna make my way up a little bit farther and just keep my eyes peeled, and then I'm gonna kind of drift on down. I'm gonna start looking in the water though. I found some cool stuff in the water, and I also think that we might could find something other than a lure. I mean, it'd be cool if we found like a cell phone or rod and reel. There's all kind of cool stuff we could find, so let's do it. There he is. There he is. Oh dude, that's a nice one. That's another nice one. Oh my goodness. Let's go. Look at that bass right there, man. Came out and crushed it. Look how she ate that thing. Let's go. That is another one that's close to 3. That one's gonna be a little bit less than that last one, but a good one for sure. So the way she ate that hook, she's got some bleeding going on. I'm gonna go ahead and get her back. I got a fish. We have a fish. Oh, he's doing all kind of turns. I feel like he's gonna come off. Please don't come off, baby. That's another good largemouth. Let's go. Holy cow, dude. That's the biggest one of the day. That might be a 4-pounder. You got a guy on the bank. He says he'll take him. That's a good one, man. Here lately, it has been dink day for us on the river, but not today. We are catching some good ones. Well, let's go. That's gonna be the biggest one of the day, and it's definitely not a 4-pounder, I don't believe. Let's just check. I think it's gonna be a high 3. I'm telling y'all, that Bagley crankbait is getting it done. All right, my guess, I wanna say 4 even, but I'm gonna say 3 pounds, 15 ounces. 3 pounds, 7 ounces. Okay, so I was off a little bit. Not a bad fish though. Check that out, man. That is so cool. Love catching these largemouth. Nothing in the world like it. And to do it on some lures that we found is just that much cooler, man. Well, hey, new favorite bait alert. Well, that is such a good feeling. We've only caught big ones today. I mean, I haven't even had a fish on smaller than 2 pounds, which is crazy. Most of the time, it's all little ones. And you're looking for those big ones. Not the case today. Every one that I've caught though is exactly where it needs to be. It's also been on this bait. Every fish today has come off of this bait that we found, so that's awesome. And the way the hooks of this bait originally were dug into that vine or whatever it was on, kind of surprised that the bait's still in good shape. So behind me is a boat ramp, and it's obvious that anywhere that people fish from the bank, you're gonna find lures. So I'm gonna search around right here and see if we can find a few more. I see something. I see something. The only way I'm gonna be able to get it is by a lure. All right, I have a line. Oh, dude, here it is. Well, that's a cool one to find. This is a 6 cents rattle trap. Not a bad find. Somebody was throwing it on braided line. I'd like to get all this braided line out of the river. Right here, especially, it'll get in somebody's trolling motor. Oh, dude, you're not gonna believe this. That rattle trap was hooked on somebody's line. There's another rattle trap down here. Look at this. How about that, dude? That's 2 of them. I don't know what kind of rattle trap that is, but looks like a pretty good one. So somebody had broke their rattle trap off on the line that was attached to this rattle trap. So 2 rattle traps in one find. That's awesome. Dude, I bet you we found, what, $40 worth of lures today? That's crazy. If we came out here and dove for our own lures, I would be terrified, but I'll do it. I'm just gonna probably have to have AO with me. I think I see another crankbait on this log right now. Oh, it's right here. I can't get it all the way up though. Oh, dude. I just lost the bait that we've been catching them on, plus the bait that I just found. No. Say it ain't so, dude. That's such a bad feeling. I knew I was risking it. The Bagley. The bait that we've caught fish on. Okay, well, I have lost my lure. I feel like a real smart fella for doing that. Golly, I hate that. I'm definitely gonna order a Bagley shad pattern bait because that thing caught them. Gosh, what a dummy. I hate that I lost it. But while losing it, I did find those 2 rattle traps, and I had a 3rd one. I think it was a rattle trap or a crankbait one, and I popped my line trying to get it back. You best believe every time I come out here, I'm gonna be looking on that to see if I can see them. But that was definitely an awesome day. We were able to get all kind of trash off the riverbank, so that's cool. I mean, let's just check out what we found. We found the Bagley that I just lost, but then we found these 4 crankbaits. I found a nice chatterbait, and then we found the spinnerbait that stayed intact all day. I can't believe it. So I would say that's not a bad day at all. Super fun to come out here and do that. I didn't realize how much fun I was gonna have. That was a cool video to film. Definitely enjoyed doing that. So yeah, until next time, I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button. Get me to 100,000. Trying my best to get there before the end of the year. I know the year just started. I would really like to go ahead and be there. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.